Good afternoon and welcome back. So let's take a start by looking at our 500 millibar chart here. We do have a pretty noticeable trough, pretty much all the way from some of the western states here, all the way off into the east coast. It's a pretty big, kind of stretched out little trough feature. Now, we do find ourselves underneath the low pressure system here as we head into tomorrow morning. Excuse me. Excuse me, I got some hiccups, goodness. Ooh. And then aloft, it looks like we may have some flow along the lakes there. So we'll see if that leads to any lake effect. But for now, the most interesting thing to note is that this trough kind of consolidates. It really strengthens. There's a good jet at the base of this trough. There's even some defluence out over the water along the east coast here. And this is actually going to turn into quite an impressive system, especially with this jet intensifying as we head into tomorrow evening. And the left exit region of that jet being right off the being right off the coast, and that jet really intensifies. So this is actually going to turn into a nor'easter, and one that's probably going to pack quite the punch as well. You can actually really see that even taking place on the 500 millibar chart here, which is something that you wouldn't really see at that level. So let's go down to the 700 millibar level. And again, maybe we get a little bit of a disturbance from this as it passes over tonight and into tomorrow. And then, of course, tomorrow we have some more flow over the lakes that could potentially lead to some lake effect. Again, we will have to see how that shapes out. And then even at the 700 millibar level here, you can really see as we head into tomorrow evening and then into tomorrow night, that nor'easter just that is certainly something. And it looks like it's going to be quite windy along that thing too. And down to the 850 just to cross our or dot our I's and cross our T's. And whew, the really, and again, yes, there is still some flow off the lakes here, a little bit off the lakes, not a ton, but enough to keep an eye on. But just that nor'easter, like that's tickling my brain, like that. Whew. Let's head down to the surface now. We do have some colder air moving in, and there is a pretty substantial high pressure system off to our northwest. And again, as we head into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and through the day tomorrow, like, look at that thing off the east coast. That is going to be a big problem. Whew. Goodness. Well, now let's take a quick look at our highs and lows. So currently things are in the lower 30s. And of course, we are going to dip into the 20s as we head into this evening. And it's really not going to get that much colder overnight and into tomorrow morning. We will hang around the upper 20s. But we will warm back up into the low 30s tomorrow, but not for too long. We will dip back into the upper 20s, and then into the lower 20s, and then into the upper teens as we head into tomorrow morning. Yeah, isn't that familiar? Yay, woohoo, winter. Now, as for precipitation, we didn't see any obvious troublemaker on the upper air charts, but there was still a chance that we would see some lake effect, and sure enough, we do see some of that tomorrow. And while it doesn't really look like it's stretching all the way over to our area on this chart here, it is an ensemble, so it does lose some detail. So some of those showers are indeed making their way into our area. And if you look, in fact, you do see some of that even as we head closer towards the late afternoon into the evening. There are still some bands over us. And if you take a much farther look off to the east, there's our nor'easter looking to cause some big trouble on the east coast. Yeah. I have a friend in Connecticut, around this area, and he just got a blizzard warning, and it says like I think it said 11 to 15 inches of snow. And I'm like, whew, no, thank you. You can keep that. I don't want that. But we are not expecting 11 to 15 inches, thankfully. But we are looking at the possibility for snow that could be measured in inches instead of, you know, not measured at all. So our expected range is it's not a lot. It's 1 to 2 inches, which I mean, come on, we're in Michigan, but that's still a lot more than we've gotten over the last while. We had fall spring, it was nice, all the snow's gone, and then we're gonna get just enough to cover the ground again. Now the low end forecast is a half an inch, so we should at the very least expect half an inch. I'm not sure how much of that would stick given the ground. The ground is still probably fairly warm from fall spring, and it's also wet. And then our high end amount is 3 inches. So even in the worst case, 3 inches of snow is not that big of a deal. It may make, the roads a little less fun, right after that snow falls, but, when your worst case is 3 inches, it's not, you're fine, I think. Now, of course, it's time we take a look at wind. Currently, winds aren't terrible. We're looking at maybe 15 miles per hour sustained winds, and they will calm down a bit towards the evening before picking up again tomorrow. Again, sustained 15 to 20 miles per hour, nothing terrible, although it does build quite a bit as we head towards tomorrow evening. The sustained could potentially get up to 20, 25, maybe even close to 30 miles per hour on the high end. And that looks like to hang around through most of the overnight and into Monday morning. So definitely a windier period. Again, if you look a little bit to the east, if you've got any friends on the East Coast, if you're planning to travel over there, some of those sustained winds, 50, 60 miles per hour possibly. Yeah, no wonder they have blizzard warnings. Now let's take a look at wind gusts. Again, right now, nothing terrible. Right around this, honestly, right around the same as the sustained winds right now. Then, of course, it looks pretty similar as we head into tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we bump up maybe into the 20 mile per hour range. And then, of course, tomorrow evening and into Monday morning, we're looking 25, 30 miles per hour. And again, look out east, 50, 60, perhaps even over in some areas. Very strong gusts. And again, no wonder they have a blizzard warning. But now it's time for the final part of our forecast. The cloud cover, everyone's favorite part. Okay, my favorite part. But only when it shows clear weather. When it doesn't show clear skies, it's not my favorite part. It's actually my least favorite. Anyway, enough yapping. It should remain mostly cloudy today and into the evening and through the overnight and into tomorrow morning and through tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening. And it looks like maybe there are some holes, some clearing. There is some clearing going on as we head into Monday morning, and it remains to be seen if we will see any of that clearing here. But I think it's certainly possible. So if you're hoping for some clearing, hold out some hope for Monday. It might happen on Monday. But other than that, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.